The back of your head?
Yeah.
That's your favorite part of your body?
For the moment.
Have you seen that?
No.
Okay. like in a mirror.
He's lived through decades of fame, heartbreak, and scandal. But at 62, Johnny Depp finally opened up about the woman who truly had his heart. The way he describes her, it's not a rumor, it's real. And when you hear who it is, it changes everything. Did Johnny Depp's tattoo for Winona Ryder curse their relationship?
Are there any tattoos that you had that Miss Heard had an issue with, to your understanding?
The tattoo that I believe is up here, which used to say Winona Forever, who was a former girlfriend. And we've been together for a few years, Winona Ryder, and when we broke up, how do you fix that? I did go back and rewrite my journal to some degree. I took off the last two letters and had it say wino.
They met by chance at a movie premiere. 5 months later, he proposed. But by year 3, they were broken, tattoos faded, and hearts heavier. In June 1989, Johnny Depp, then 26, locked eyes with 17-year-old Winona Ryder at the Great Balls of Fire premiere in New York City. It wasn't staged. They'd never met. A few months later, they were inseparable. By February 1990, Depp proposed. The age gap raised eyebrows, but Hollywood labeled them the new romantic archetype. He was riding high on 21 Jump Street and had just filmed Cry Baby. She was already a rising indie star from Beetlejuice and Heathers. Together, they filmed Edward Scissorhands in the fall of 1990, arguably the most iconic visual expression of their real-life affection. Director Tim Burton said their relationship bled into every scene, but fame moved faster than their trust. Paparazzi stalked them relentlessly. Depp's drinking intensified. Studio pressures mounted. By mid-1993, the engagement was off. Depp, now 30, altered his tattoo from Winona Forever to Wino Forever. Not removed, just rewritten. But what happened off camera during their silent collapse? Why did Winona say she felt like she was dying after the split? In 1995, Depp admitted to Vanity Fair that the pressure of being watched killed it. Years later, he called Winona his first real heartbreak. What's rarely mentioned. He kept a photo of her in a private writing journal until at least 2005. He tried again, but his next love wasn't peaceful. It was fire wrapped in designer leather. Why did he dump 3 fiancés before 27?
After his divorce, Depp found love again with actress Sherilyn Fenn. They met on the set of a student film in 1985, and their connection was instant.
Well, it's not that he's weird, he's just kind of so, apple pie in a way. Do you know what I mean when I met him?
During their 3-year relationship, they were inseparable, even co-starring in an episode of 21 Jump Street. At one point, the couple was engaged, but as their careers took them in different directions, they decided to part ways in 1988. Despite the breakup, Fenn has since described Depp as her first love and has spoken fondly of their time together.
By the time he turned 27, Johnny Depp had already been engaged 3 times. And none of those relationships lasted longer than 3 years. In the mid-1980s, Depp was still unknown when he met actress Sherilyn Fenn on the short film Dummies, 1985. They dated for over 2 years. By 1987, she wore a ring. She later called him her first love in interviews, saying, "He was very sweet, just a soft soul back then." At the same time, Depp landed 21 Jump Street, and life sped up. In 1988, he dated actress Jennifer Grey. She revealed in her 2022 memoir, Out of the Corner, that he proposed within just 2 weeks of dating. They were living together in her apartment by early 1989. Grey wrote that Depp was crazy jealous and would disappear for days without explanation. She ended the engagement by mid-1989, before he met Winona. That's 3 confirmed engagements in 4 years. Fenn, 1986 to 1988, Gray, 1988 to 1989, Ryder, 1990 to 1993. Why was he so desperate to anchor himself, yet so quick to drift away? These early relationships followed a pattern. Depp idealized fast, but life moved faster. He once said in a 1993 interview, "I loved hard and ruined it just as hard." The next woman in his life wouldn't slow him down. She would match his chaos step for step until the walls cracked around them. What really happened in that wrecked hotel room?
Are you proud of him, Kate? So proud. So.
She was the world's most photographed model. He was the king of grunge cinema. Together they were beautiful, wild, and often out of control. Johnny Depp met Kate Moss in early 1994 through columnist George Wayne at Café Tabac in New York. She was 20, he was 31. They fell hard and fast. By September that year, police were called to Manhattan's Mark Hotel. Depp had destroyed a $1,200 a night suite. He was arrested, but later released without jail time. Moss wasn't injured, but the media ran wild. From 1994 to 1998, they were inseparable at fashion shows, film premieres, and across Europe. Vogue editors called them the couple of the decade. Moss later admitted that she cried for years after they split. In a 2012 Vanity Fair interview, she said, "I really lost that gauge of someone I could trust." She added, "He was the only person who ever really looked after me." In 2022, during Depp's defamation trial against Amber Heard, Moss appeared via video to publicly deny a long-standing rumor that he pushed her downstairs. "He never hurt me," she said under oath. Why did she still come to his defense? 24 years after the breakup, few knew. Depp reportedly painted a portrait of Moss in 2006, kept in storage, a tribute never meant to be seen. But the next woman in Depp's life would give him something he never had before: children, and a peace he couldn't hold on to. Why did Depp leave the woman who gave him peace?
Fühlen Sie sich etwa nicht als Star? Nein. Du etwa, Vanessa? Immerhin konnte das Liebespaar Depp dramatische Schlagzeilen in 7 Beziehungsjahren verhindern. Doch auch das ist wohl nur eine Frage des Standes.
They never married. They never made headlines for drama. Yet, in 2012, their 14-year bond ended, quietly, painfully, and without warning. Johnny Depp met French singer and actress Vanessa Paradis in June 1998 at the Hotel Costas in Paris. He was there filming Roman Polanski's The Ninth Gate. She was performing that night wearing a backless dress. Depp said later, "That back changed my life." They spoke that evening. Within months, he moved to France. They never legally married, but they lived as partners for 14 years. Their daughter, Lily Rose Melody Depp, was born in Paris on May 27, 1999. Their son, John Christopher Jack Depp III, arrived in 2002. The family split their time between Hollywood and their estate in Plan de la Tour in southern France. Vanessa kept her career quiet during their time together. Depp described her as incredibly strong and credited her with saving him from addiction. In 2010, he told Extra, "She's a great mom and the smartest, most honest person I've ever met." Their breakup was announced in June 2012. No legal battle, no tabloid meltdown. So what pulled them apart when everything appeared whole? Insiders said Depp's return to Hollywood for Pirates of the Caribbean created distance. Privately, he later told a friend, "I lost my anchor when I left France." His next relationship wouldn't be private or peaceful. It would become a courtroom storm seen around the world. How did his quickest marriage spark a global trial? They were married for just 15 months, but the fallout lasted over 7 years and played out in front of the entire world. Johnny Depp met Amber Heard on the set of The Rum Diary in 2009. He was 46, she was 23. They began dating in 2012, shortly after Depp split from Vanessa Paradis. They married on February 3, 2015, at Depp's home in Los Angeles, followed by a second ceremony on his private island in the Bahamas. By May 2016, Heard filed for divorce and obtained a temporary restraining order, alleging domestic violence. Depp denied the accusations. The divorce was finalized in January 2017, with Depp paying a $7 million settlement, which Heard pledged to donate. In 2018, she wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post identifying as a survivor of abuse without naming him. Depp responded with a $50 million defamation lawsuit. Their 2022 court battle in Fairfax, Virginia, became one of the most live-streamed trials in history, drawing over 400 million views. A jury awarded Depp $10.35 million in damages. Heard received $2 million on her counterclaim. She later settled with Depp in December 2022 for $1 million. Why did he call himself a sucker for loving her, even after winning in court? In a 2023 interview, Depp said, "I believed it could heal something broken. It just broke me further." After fire, he returned to silence and back to someone the world forgot, but he never did. Did Depp try to reclaim his ex-fiancée after the collapse?
Is it true that, Johnny Depp asked you to marry him after, dating for a few weeks?
It's worse than that.
Wait, what? Tell me everything!
I was engaged to Matthew Broderick and Johnny Depp in this same...
They were engaged in 1989. Then life and his temper got in the way. But decades later, he reached out again. In 1988, Johnny Depp began dating actress Jennifer Grey, who had just finished filming Dirty Dancing. She was 28. He was 25. In her 2022 memoir, Out of the Corner, Grey revealed Depp proposed within 2 weeks of meeting her. By early 1989, they were living together in her West Hollywood apartment. According to Grey, Depp was ridiculously handsome, surprisingly open, funny, quirky, but also jealous and moody. He would disappear for days without contact, leaving her anxious and exhausted. She ended the relationship in mid-1989, just weeks before Depp met Winona Ryder. In her memoir, Grey confirmed that decades later, Depp attempted to reach out through mutual friends, asking if she ever thought about them, or what might have been. Grey declined to reconnect, but admitted she still held complicated affection for him. What made him circle back so many years later to a woman he once hurt? It wasn't nostalgia. It was timing. This happened shortly after his 2012 split with Vanessa Paradis. Friends say Depp sought people from before the chaos, those who knew him before his name became a headline. But his next real connection wasn't romantic. It was spiritual and bonded by grief. Was Depp secretly supporting River Phoenix's sister? He didn't date her publicly, but their bond came from something deeper than attraction. It started with a tragedy and never truly ended. On October 31, 1993, River Phoenix collapsed and died of a drug overdose outside the Viper Room in West Hollywood, a club partly owned by Johnny Depp. River was 23rd. Depp had performed on stage earlier that night with Flea and Gibby Haynes. The club closed temporarily. Depp later said in a rare interview that River's death haunted the foundation of that place. After the tragedy, Depp grew close to River's sister, Rain Phoenix. There's no public record of a romantic relationship, but those around them described a deep emotional connection formed through mutual grief, music, and loss. Rain later founded the Launch Left Art Collective and used part of her inheritance for music therapy programs, projects Depp quietly supported. In 2004, Depp attended a closed performance by Rain in Los Angeles. A According to Rolling Stone, he helped fund recording sessions anonymously. He was never credited, but insiders confirmed his involvement. Why did he choose to stay in the background even while helping her build something? Because, as a friend put it, this wasn't about being seen. It was about staying human. The woman who would follow wasn't part of tragedy, but she would become the emotional constant he never publicly admitted until years later. Did he just admit Vanessa was his one true love?
The way he says, my girl Vanessa.
How to raise children. When my girl Vanessa got pregnant, I knew exactly how to raise children, which was to do the opposite of what they did, of what Betty Sue did. Never raise your voice in front of the children, never.
They were together for 14 years. They raised 2 children, but he never said it until now. In June 2025, during a quiet sit-down interview with the Sunday Times, Johnny Depp spoke about his past with unusual clarity. When asked if he had ever truly fallen in love in the way that never really leaves, he answered simply, yes. Vanessa Paradis, the French singer and actress, met Depp in 1998 at the Hotel Coste in Paris. They never married but raised 2 children, Lily Rose, born May 1999, and Jack, April 2002. They split in June 2012. For over a decade, Depp rarely discussed her publicly out of respect, but during the 2025 interview, Depp confessed he still visits their former home in Plan de la Tour in the south of France, alone. He said he keeps a framed photo of Vanessa on his writing desk and occasionally writes her letters he never sends. Why reveal it now, after years of silence and scandal? Close friends say it's because he believes the chance to tell the truth doesn't last forever. She was my balance, he admitted, and I didn't realize I'd tipped until she was gone. That sentence wasn't scripted. It wasn't for show. It was the kind of truth you share only when you're finally ready to stop pretending. Every love leaves a mark, but the next story goes even deeper. Tap the video on your screen to uncover what Hollywood still doesn't want you to know. Don't miss it.